Hello, this is Secret Strangle Club Interviews with Lucy Wynn, and today we have sponsored athlete Amy Derwanz. We're going to be talking about her upcoming GRAPPLEFEST match and her jiu-jitsu history coming up to this. So Amy, can we start a little bit about what got you into jiu-jitsu, when you started?
I started jiu-jitsu when I was about 13. Well, it was more sub-wrestling at ASW with Scott Askham.
Nice.
Yeah, and because I started it because of MMA. I'd done martial arts, all striking, like from being 4 or 5 years old. So once I got to, I think I was in like year 8, and I remember my dad ringing me up being like, "We've got a gym, Amy. We're training tonight." So that's when I started doing grappling, and then I moved to AVT when that closed. And then that's where I started doing a lot more no-gi, a lot more jiu-jitsu, because before it was a lot more sub-wrestling based, pinning based sort of thing. And then I got injured before a fight, and I hyperextended my elbow and I couldn't throw punches anymore.
Oh, I've done that as well. It's similar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no one's on boring you though.
No, it's quite good for that. Yeah. It's a gift and a curse, because like when I'm doing my yoga and stuff, they're like, everyone's like, "Oh my god, I have to like really concentrate on bending, like keeping a bend in my arm, otherwise I'm completely out of line."
Yeah, it looks like it's broken.
Yeah, probably. Well, me and my dad run about this because it actually bends off on an angle, but I've got taken down basically, and from the back,
one arm
down, because it was either that or my head.
That's how I did.
Because I literally my feet were up here, and I was like, my other arm were trapped. It were
disaster.
Not a good day. So then I started doing the gi because I couldn't do the striking classes.
Fair enough. So how long overall have you been training jiu-jitsu then, would you say?
And then it's all sort of about 7 years of grappling 7 years.
So you coach as well?
The gi not as much. Pardon?
You coach as well, don't you? How long have you been coaching for?
Oh, I've been coaching since I was like probably around 11. Wow. I started doing when I've always loved teaching. I've always loved it. When I was at karate, I used to do little bits of helping out here and there. But then when I got to kickboxing, I started helping the little dragons and became a coach, and I was even taking like adult classes at 13, 14 sort of thing. So when I joined AVT, and then we started off with, then once the ladies program started running again, and they got me in, it was like perfect, back into my thing.
How old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
20.
20?
20, yeah.
Oh wow. So how do you keep like a fine balance between being able to compete and coaching then? Because obviously you're a very active competitor as well as a very active coach. How do you keep that balance?
Well, I have my ladies classes and my youth ladies classes, and then I also do take one of the classes for Tom. Well, I take like Wednesday with another coach at the gym. But it sort of just fits in with my training quite nicely. It allows me to just be at AVT for as much as I want, and then I can always go on an evening if I want to go somewhere else, or in the morning. But usually there's always good rounds. People come to AVT quite often. But it just allows me to train pretty much full time and live the life that I've always dreamt of, really, to be honest.
Obviously you've got GRAPPLEFEST coming up again. Is it 5th time now?
I think it's a 4th time.
What's your record? Is it 3-0 right now?
3-0, yeah.
3-0, nice.
What's
your sort of plan this time?
Submit her.
What is your go-to submission? What's your go-to submission?
Well, if you ask anyone, they'd say armbar, but I haven't actually caught and submitted someone with an armbar in competition. That is, for a little while. I've got a rear naked choke and a heel hook, which was very out of character. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, what's going on with you? So I don't have like a submission in mind. It's sort of just
whatever's there.
Go for it. Yeah. I've got a few things. I kind of know what she's like, but at the same time, you can never really predict too much. It's always going to be mad, isn't it?
Yeah. So what's been your favourite sort of competition so far? Your sort of favourite performance so far, would you say, in your whole jiu-jitsu career? If you've got one that you can think of.
My last GRAPPLEFEST performance.
Yeah, that was really good. Was it against Moti?
Yeah, against
Yes.
Moti.
Yeah, that was really, really good.
There was quite a bit of anticipation, and I was quite proud of my just the way that I turned my head into it and got the submission quite fast. And that's my kind of style. Like the fact that I didn't have the hooks sort of solidify sometimes the joke about me with my not really being a points player, and I can get smashed all over sometimes positionally and come through. And I thought it was just nice to show, because people say it don't work, and it can, not all the time.
But it does have a chance, yeah.
That just made me feel like, yeah, I like that one.
What would you describe your style as? Would you say you're like quite a scrappy fighter when jiu-jitsu?
I think it changes all the time, to be honest, like my style, because I'm quite fast. I think sometimes like I try and go for, I'm running around trying to get in little gaps and just be quick rather than like slow and pressure. But at the same time, I've started to work that top game a lot more, because I used to be more of a guard player, even though I've always wrestled and things. I think it's just natural being a white belt, you're always a guard player. Being a lass, you end up being a guard player first. But once I started getting into my top game, I started feeling a little bit more confident trying to pressure through. And I always thought I was a guard player, and then my dad was like, Amy, you're a pressure passer, you. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And then I look back at my competition footage, and it's all of me just squishing them on, so just like coming past and like, yeah, maybe you're right. So, but I still think I look at my roles, some roles are completely mad, some I'm being dead tight. So I don't even know, it depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah. Would you say your MMA has sort of helped in a way with jiu-jitsu at all, or not?
Yeah, I'd say it's helped. It definitely made me I think a lot of people say always MMA girls are tougher. I don't know. They've always said it. It's like
they're more confident with the ground game. Do you know what I mean? Because they need to get the takedowns, they need to do the wrestling. So I feel like where they do it quite often, it becomes a bit of a constant. Whereas I think when you're a jiu-jitsu girl, you're constantly against people that are bigger than you. You're not going to go for the takedowns because you're scared of like what could potentially happen as such. So you full guard or jump guard is like a safety precaution. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's like there's tough lasses that just grapple. You know what I mean? It's not just that, but I think the MMA about keeping positions and that kind of thing, because I'm always trying to look for the finish as well in MMA. Like I've never liked to win on points and things like that. I've always wanted to finish it. It's been quite a thing in my head. If I haven't submitted them or knocked them out, I haven't won. And if they haven't done that to me, they haven't won. If you know what I mean, like it goes both ways.
It's a confirmation, isn't it? It's a dead given.
Yeah.
Admit it that you've ended the match. It's like a TKO.
Yeah. It's just. Yeah. So I think it set me with that mindset of finish. Like this isn't playing. You know, this isn't. It's like it is a chess match and it is playing, but you're not playing. You know, when it comes to competition, like I'm trying to make you give up, or you'll be making me give up, and that ain't happening. And it's that kind of mindset, I think.
Yeah, you've done some big shows as well, haven't you? You've done Polaris as well. What is there any other shows that you would like to go on, like maybe abroad, or any other British ones that you've not yet been on that you would like to go on?
Well, this kills me, but Eddie Bravo messaged me to go on Medusa not long ago.
Wow.
Nice. And it was just not the right timing. He wanted me to be a part of the £125 combat jiu-jitsu tournament, which is been a dream of mine, because what got me into jiu-jitsu was watching EBI in the first place. So Eddie and Rubber Guard, all that sort of 10 planet system. It's just not just Rubber Guard, it's everything now. But that was like my first introduction into no-gi proper competition, not just MMA. So when he asked me, I was absolutely, just the fact he asked me was amazing. And then we found out that I couldn't really get to it. So I was like, just ask me to come on again. So that, we could get there again. If you could ask me that again, Eddie, then
we'll tag him. Tag him on the video.
yeah. Get me back on, because I'd love to be there. It was, it made my day, and then also ruined my day when I couldn't go.
I think it's really your style at sort of combat jiu-jitsu as well. I'd like to see you in one of those sort of matches.
Yeah, well, when I first found out about it, I was like, about combat jiu-jitsu, I was like, oh, this is for me.
In my street, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I've been training MMA. I've always trained it, even through when I was just doing jiu-jitsu and stuff. And the dynamic changes with just palm strikes. But I think it'd be so fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Just to see what it's. Yeah, because I read about it to Lily, because Lily went, because she got asked to do that super fight, and she was just saying how cool it was. And I was so happy for it. At the same time, I was like,
I want to be there.
Wish I was there.
Just last off, just to round up the interview, is there anyone that you would maybe call out, or anyone you would like to have a match with, or even roll with? Like, is there any sort of grapplers you would like to have the opportunity with?
Because there's so many UK grapplers, and there's so many women that, to be honest, like Gabby, who I competed against, Gabby Shook.
Gabby Shook, yeah.
I competed against her at Empire.
Yeah.
In the final, and she's been tearing up. I've seen her. I saw her just smash everyone that day.
So at this point in the video, the internet was pretty terrible, so I've done my best editing as best I can to make it as much sense as possible. But you're gonna have to work with me here. Bad internet in Greece. Enjoy.
If someone's going for it, I go for it. That's all. I love that. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what makes it exciting. She was constantly I weren't saying she was holding me in the closed guard and being stale. She was constantly peeling my arms, and I'd have liked to have been able to have nullified.
Nice.
And maybe broke the guard and sat more fresh, because I had some tough matches that day. Yeah. And just see if I could make it a little bit more exciting from my half. You know what I mean? So that'd be cool. Other than that, just anyone. Just match me up.
I like that.
At this point in the video, audio is pretty inaudible, so I'm going to leave you here. I'm sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next one. Peace.
Have a good day, and thanks for chatting with me today. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you too. See you later. Bye.
Bye.